Did you know that you are not alone? Ever? Right now, literally trillions of microorganisms are living inside your gut. They're called your microbiome. And in this explainer, we're going to uncover how this hidden world inside of you has a surprising amount of control over your health, your mood, and yeah, even your decisions.
You know, this idea isn't some new age fad. We're talking thousands of years ago. The father of medicine himself, Hippocrates, said that all health and disease starts in the gut. He just knew that what happens in our intestines sends ripples through the entire body. And the incredible part? Modern science is just now catching up and proving how ridiculously right he was.
Okay, to really put this into perspective, let's talk genetics. You have about 22,000 of your own human genes. But the microbes in your gut, they bring up to 15 times more genetic material to the party. So if you think about it, genetically speaking, you're actually more microbe than human. How wild is that?
So let's dive into it. What exactly is this world inside of you, and what makes it so incredibly unique?
Think of your microbiome like your fingerprint. It is completely 100% unique to you. No two people have the exact same mix. In fact, studies show that the microbial community in someone with a chronic illness looks totally different from the community in a healthy person. It's like a living, breathing report card of your personal health.
Now, you've probably heard people talk about the gut-brain connection, but we need to think bigger, much bigger. It's really more a gut-everything axis. Seriously, the health of your microbiome is directly tied to your risk for things like obesity and diabetes, your heart health, and even your mental well-being, influencing everything from anxiety to how well you can focus.
Okay, so if these little guys have so much influence, what are they actually doing all day? Let's take a look at the essential jobs they're performing for us 24/7.
I want you to imagine that your gut is filled with trillions of tiny, microscopic chemical factories. Every time you eat, these little factories get to work producing all these powerful molecules that go straight into your bloodstream. And get this, within about 2 minutes, just 2, those molecules have traveled through your entire body, delivering messages that can do anything from calming your immune system to changing your brain chemistry. So what's on the production line at these factories? Well, a whole bunch of stuff our bodies literally can't make on their own. We're talking essential vitamins, like vitamin K, hormones, like melatonin, that help you sleep, and even neurotransmitters that directly affect your mood. They even make enzymes our own cells can't to help us digest food. We are completely and totally dependent on them.
Okay, I want you to really let this next number sink in. 50%. That's right, roughly half of all the active molecules floating around in your blood right now were not made by your own cells. They are gifts, byproducts, from the microbes living in your gut. That's just how deeply connected this inner world is to our own biology.
Ever really wondered how you know when you're full? Well, your microbes are a huge part of that conversation. When you eat fiber from plants, certain bacteria in your gut chow down on it and produce a special compound called butyrate. Now think of butyrate like a text message. It gets sent to your body telling it to release another hormone called leptin. And leptin is what travels to your brain with a very clear message. Okay, we're good. You can stop eating now.
It's an amazing partnership, right? When everything is working in harmony, it's fantastic. But what happens when that delicate ecosystem gets thrown out of whack? Let's talk about the trouble with imbalance.
There's a scientific name for this. It's called dysbiosis, and it's basically what happens when the good guys in your gut get outnumbered and the bad guys, the microbes that cause inflammation, start to take over and dominate the landscape. This internal power shift can have some major consequences for your health. And what causes this to happen? Well, according to our source material, a lot of it comes down to the pressures of modern life. Things like a diet full of ultra-processed foods, taking antibiotics, being under chronic stress, even just not getting enough sleep can be enough to disrupt this incredibly delicate balance.
And here it is. This might be the single most important connection to understand. An imbalanced gut creates chronic inflammation. And more scientists are realizing that this low-grade constant inflammation is a root cause or a major contributing factor to pretty much every chronic disease we face today. Now that might sound a little alarming, I get it. But here's the powerful truth, the really good news. This isn't permanent. You have a remarkable amount of control over this inner world. So let's talk about how you can start to rebalance your gut. So, where do you start? What's the main goal? According to our source, it all comes down to a single number, 30. The target is to try and eat 30 different types of plants every single week. Why?
Because diversity on your plate creates diversity in your gut, and that is the #1 indicator of a healthy microbiome. Now, all those different plants give you fiber, which really comes in 2 key types. First, you've got insoluble fiber. The best way to think of this is like a broom for your gut. It just sweeps everything clean. Then you have soluble fiber. This is the good stuff your microbes eat to make all those beneficial compounds we were talking about. You really need both for a healthy gut.
Building a healthier gut is about both diet and lifestyle. So on the food front, you want to prioritize that plant diversity and maybe add in some fermented foods like sauerkraut or kimchi. But don't forget the rest of your life. Managing your stress, making sleep a priority, and even just getting outside in nature. These are all super powerful ways to support your inner ecosystem.
Of course, let's be real. Getting 30 different plants into your diet every week can feel, well, a little overwhelming, especially when life is busy. The source material for this explainer knows that, and it also discusses some tools that can help bridge that gap, kind of like an easy button to help you hit your goals.
The source gives a few examples, like a blend made from 30 different plants, shakes that include prebiotic fiber, and capsules that combine both prebiotics and probiotics. Now, this information is credited in the source to Helene Matthews. If you'd like to learn more, her contact info is up on the screen right now. And for general wellness information, you can also visit naturesmart.us.
The most important thing to take away from all this is that it's not about being perfect. Not at all. It's about making small, consistent steps. Maybe it's adding just 1 new vegetable to your dinner this week, or getting 15 extra minutes of sleep tonight. These small choices, when you make them consistently, can add up to a huge impact on your health and your energy. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. If you think of your microbes as the authors who are writing the story of your health every single day, then the food you eat and the choices you make are the ingredients you're giving them to write with. The only question is, what kind of story will you help them write? Thanks for joining us.